Hi, readers. For today's lesson, we are going to practice predictions again. And we're going to use what we know about our star characters to make predictions. So, imagine for a moment that you are in the world of Frog and Toad. Do you see those friends and their homes and the woods in which they live? Now, say something unusual happens in their lives, like a big hot air balloon comes to their forest, the kind that has the basket attached. Do you know what I mean? Now, say that Frog and Toad and all the other animals of the forest have been invited to go on a ride in this balloon. But here's the deal. They have to get up at the crack of dawn. That means really, really early in the morning, before it's even light out, and it's cold outside. It's late fall, and the leaves have all fallen off the trees. But if they go, they will have a once in a lifetime opportunity to fly over the trees and water and land below to see the beautiful sunrise. How do you think Frog will react? Or what about Toad? Will they take the balloon ride? I want you to pause the video and think. What do you think both of them would do? Now that you've unpaused, how many of you guessed that Frog would jump at this opportunity and he would try to convince Toad that it's going to be so much fun to take a balloon ride together? Or how about Toad? What are you thinking about him? How many of you thought that he might hesitate and maybe he would say that going up in the balloon is dangerous or that he would rather be in bed and lay under his covers? Well, if you thought either of those things, I think you're right. So now that we know a lot about Frog and Toad, we can almost guess what they might do, even in a story that isn't written. And that's because you know the predictable ways in which they are going to act. So today I want to teach you that when readers know a character really well, the way you know your best friend or someone in your family, they can guess what that character will do next. And that is what we are going to practice today. So if you take a look at our anchor chart on the screen, we're going to use what they know to guess what the character will do next. So that is using what you know to guess what the character is going to do next. You're making a prediction. So this chapter is called The Hat, and I'm only going to be reading this first side. So here we go. On Toad's birthday, Frog gave him a hat. Toad was delighted. "Happy birthday," said Frog. Toad put on the hat. It fell down over his eyes. "I am sorry," said Frog. "That hat is much too big for you. I will give you something else." So, before I let you see the next page, you are going to make a prediction. What do we guess is going to happen next? So, I want you to pause the video and think, what will Toad do? What do you think? Now that you had some time to think, well, I know that Toad is a bit lazy, and he acts kind of like a 2-year-old sometimes, and he really likes his friend Frog, though. So I think that he's just going to wear the hat, even though it's just too big for him. You might be thinking some other things too. Maybe you're thinking Toad really is silly and ridiculous sometimes, and he's going to wear the hat. But because we know, because we know Toad so well, we made a good guess about what might happen. And that's because um, we've studied and collected information on him this whole time. So now we are able to predict what he might do next. Now, we're not going to be right every single time, but we can come close or get it right sometimes because we do know those characters well. So now that we made the prediction, let's read that next page to see if we were right. "No," said Toad. "This hat is your present to me. I like it. I will wear it the way it is." So as you can see, we did make a correct prediction because we knew that Toad was lazy. He really likes frogs, so maybe he didn't want to hurt his feelings. But Toad ended up wearing the hat even though it was too big. And we did also say that Toad is silly and ridiculous sometimes. So wearing that hat that's way too big, falling over his eyes, makes sense as well. So it is going to be your turn to try now. And here's your directions. So today you're going to use what you know about your character in your series that you're reading on Epic to predict what your character will do or say next. And again, you will either read the next chapter in the book you're reading, or if you're finished that book, you may start a new book in your series. Now, I gave you a little sentence starter again if you wish to choose it when you upload to Padlet. It says, next, I think my character will say or do blank because blank. So how do you know your character might do that? Well, our background from our Toad prediction was that we know he's silly, he's ridiculous sometimes, he's friends with Frog, and he's lazy. So that led us to make the prediction that Toad was going to keep the hat even though it was way too big for him. So that's where the because part comes in. You need to give that why, give that reason why you think that. So again, you're going to upload one of your predictions to Padlet. And that is all we are doing for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.